can see when he's playing, he plays with confidence. You can see that here he's very good. I think he's a very good gamer and he can win the competition.
You can bet your last coin on Wonder Kid. Right, so that's another fan there who says he can bet his last penny, peso, dime, or farthing on Wonder Kid to win it. And like I said, I have two wonderful ladies. The first one just passed. We have another one who is here. Let's see who she's supporting. You're warmly welcome to GGC Golden Series final. Who are you supporting today?
Messi.
Okay, I'm told Messi is your brother. The other time you were here, he was able to win a game. So today, are you bringing him that luck again?
Sure.
All right, so we're going to see whether you bring him another good luck here today. So thank you very much. Yeah, so that is it. The fans have spoken. The gamers have spoken. Very soon, we're going to be revealing and discovering who wins the GGC Golden Series Showdown. So Worship, over to you in the studio.
Well, thank you, Samuel Ziga. You can see that diversionary tactics by these gamers here, trying to bring in the female personalities to win them the game. Last week it happened for Messi. Let's see if today is going to happen for Messi, Wonder Kid, and Kiki. But let's take a look at the fixtures for the grand finale.
Versus Messi. Aspect versus Starson. Wonder Kid versus Sule.
Is the golden hour. GGC, building a great gaming community.
So you saw the fixtures. The biggest game for today's grand finale is between Wonder Kid and Habibu Sule. But let's take a look at the top goals, the top goal scorer first, and then after the break we'll come and look at the top goals. You have Wonder Kid still leading the pack there with 7 goals on top. Habibu Sule with 5, Starson with 4, Kiki and Messi at par with 3, and the Expert with 1. That's the consolation piece he's been able to grab throughout the whole tournament. So yes, Wonder Kid still leads. He's looking forward to see if today he'll be able to add a few to what he has already to increase that particular margin. But the end will determine who wins this particular tournament. Well, so yes, that's the top goal scorer, the table that you saw there. After this break, we'll find out the golden hour top goals. Let's take a look at the top goals before we go for the break.
Starson is dominating and Juventus through! Oh, what a shot! Juventus once more! And since Starson has actually...
Paris Saint-Germain. This game is going to be a tough one. Honestly, he's not been able to get the Messi bounces back with the Liverpool team, getting into the 18-yard box. And then the first goal comes in.
Down the left-hand side, Mane,
You just have to devise a new strategy to win this game.
That's game management, and that's what he...
criticism from the German goalkeeper. So Starson, he played a shot. Starson. Oh! Almost something, but Rakitic! Oh, wow!
So, I must say, they've also been able to just string a few passes. This is what we call brilliance.
Matuidi! Oh, what a goal! Brilliant one by our standard, and Matuidi will pull. Absolutely amazing. The ball just didn't go in. Mbappe! Cavani!
Well, so that's how the Golden Soccer Tournament has been about. It's just been full of surprises, full of amazing stuff. But we have a lot more for you today. Today, as I said earlier on, is the grand finale, where we see who emanates as the best player for this tournament, the best top goal scorer, and the ultimate champion to take the much coveted prize. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back.
The normal winners will not get it that easy.
My biggest offense, I would say, was Nana.
GGC is not a joke.
I have to train hard and come back.
How did you see the game?
And Wonder Kid is a big monster. You remove the last killer, he's the one there.
Obia was the master. 4-1.
Nobody is not there again. The whole everywhere and beyond. 5-5 each.
You've watched the Invitational Series, Rep a Country, Champions League.
From being a dream to a reality. Moving from home to another man's land. The hustle, the bustle to the blossom of the success bud. A dream well achieved or not, we will find out as we delve into the lives of these sports icons. Their story during and after the days of glory. Join me, Mami Aja, on this special show After Sports on Kwesi TV.
You weren't raised. All right then. If you're up there.
Dad!
Keep me sober today. God damn it, you just rolled in here. You weren't born here, you weren't raised here.
I thought people loved the police in Canada.
Yeah, until you got here, evidently. Afraid of a little crime, Chief?
Who are you? I'm your husband.
Which one?
If I hadn't done it, you'd still be alive.
Find them. Find them and kill them. Afraid of a little crime, Chief?
The normal winners will not get it that easy.
My biggest offense, I would say, was Nana.
GGC is not a joke.
I have to train hard and come back.
How did you see the game?
And Wonder Kid is a big monster. You remove the last killer, he's the one there.
Obia was the master. 4-1.
Nobody is not there again. The whole everywhere and beyond. 5-5 each.
You've watched the Invitational Series, Rep a Country, Champions League, and the Tertiary E-Soccer Series. You've wondered, which of these is the best?
After 2 goals without a reply, I realized the match was going to be an easy one.
Only 6 players to compete for the bragging rights. This is the Golden Hour, showing on Kwesi TV.
Well, you welcome back to the Golden Hour E-Soccer Tournament on the Kwesi TV. This program is proudly sponsored by Letoland Ghana Limited, FIFA Hine, Kwesi TV, and Bello Kutu. You can get interactive with us on our social media platform. WhatsApp at 0277-830-193, 0277-830-193. On Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter, we are at GGC Channel. On Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter, we are at GGC Channel. So any comment, any predictions for today's games, you can send it to us either on WhatsApp or other social media platforms. Let's take a look at the fixtures once again. So we have Kiki up against Messi. We have Aspect up against Starson. And the biggest game of the day is between Wonder Kid and Habibu Sule. Well, so these are the fixtures we have today. Joining me in the studio for today's grand finale is Owusu Ansah and Samuel Ziga. Thank you guys for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
Good to be here.
Thank you, Small.
How's the week been for you, Samuel? It's been terrific. It's been good. I mean, we keep grinding.
Owusu Ansah. It's a normal week. Nothing exceptional.
You're not surprised by that deflected goal-winning AFCON trophy?
As for that one, people are saying it's a malam go by, it's football, you know. But how the ball scored, the goalkeeper wouldn't have been able to do anything about it because he never expected it.
Exactly.
Eventually, the Algerians have won it for the second time.
Yeah,
in
eventually.
Years. I think their last time was in 1990, 29 years down the line. And ever since, Liverpool have not been able to win the Premier League too. So they are just like Liverpool. Liverpool are also on the verge of winning the Premier League too. It's the same thing.
Okay, let's get to the first game of the day. It's up against Messi and Kiki. Okay. What do you think? Today is the grand finale. We're expecting these gamers to put up their bootstraps and give us the best. What do you think is up for today?
Messi has 4 points and Kiki has 5. And when Zega was, inviting them on the green turf, I heard Kiki said that today he will go above Messi.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Okay, good. It means automatically he has taken himself out of the race because he knows that no matter what it is, he can't be a winner here. However, he finds much solace in the fact that he'll be able to come ahead of Messi, which is not a bad sign or bad omen anyway. It's a good one and a very wonderful and easy way of motivating himself. However, Messi has also done a lot of, grand works, and I believe strongly that this is the right time for him to spring up with something that we virtually don't expect him to. So if he's able to grab the maximum point at stake today, then it will mean that he's also going to get 7 points ahead of Kiki, who has 5 points now. So it's just going to be a battle of supremacy between just the two gamers. Already we know who is on the last, and that, you see, take a look at this. So you could see that Kiki has 5, and then Messi has 4. And then he has no goal, and then Messi has -2. So it's just a battle of supremacy between two parties who are just trying to see if at the end of the day they'll be able to catch up with, Starson or better still Sule, depending on the outcome of the other games as well. So it's going to be a good game. Remember, this game wouldn't change anything on the table. However, it can have a long way influence on any of them, in the sense that if today is over, the other competitions to help boost up their confidence as well. So it's just a battle of Kiki and Messi, Pence, and then the diaspora. I don't know where you want to go and put it.
Well, Ziga, if you take a good look at the table, you realize that Starson has 7 points, Habibu has 7 points too, and then he's playing Aspect. If he loses this particular game, it means that he gives Habibu the upper hand to try and put up a good fight to Wonder Kid. What do you think is going to be for this game? Do you think that Starson is going to stand his grounds? Or is going to be a consolation piece grabbing for Aspect?
I'm very curious about how things are going to play out in this particular game since Starson and Aspect. Aspect has already made his intentions clear that, look, I'm not leaving the tournament without a point. He wants to leave with his shoulders high, with his head up above the water. So he just wants to upset St. Starson in this one. He wants to win, get the 3 points, and not be seen as that gamer who came into the competition for the past 4 weeks and never got a point. And that's what St. Starson should be wary of. And that could bring a lot out of these gamers. I mean, they could bring their dexterity to the fore. They would express themselves really well in this one. And that should be, I fear to say this, but that would be the most interesting tie above all the ties we'll be experiencing today. Even though Habibu Sule and then Wonder Kid's tie would decide who wins the competition finally. But I think that Aspect vs. Starson should be that interesting competition game that everyone will want to win it. Starson wants to win to have a go at the title. Aspect wants to win to show that, look, I didn't come here to lose. At least I came and I won some 3 points. So it should be an interesting tie, and I'm actually curious about the outcome of that game.
Well, there's something that is beautiful in football, amazing. That's history taking a toll on the present. We've seen it in the Champions League. We've seen it in several games. Do you think it's going to happen today against Wonder Kid?
Well, as for that one, it depends on who is in charge here. If the GGC Champions League, he was able to defeat him at the grand finale, it gives him a plus. However, I think Wonder Kid has also learnt enough out of that very one, and that he doesn't expect a repetition of what he suffered some time back. So obviously, looking at the checks and the balances to this game, it tells you clearly that both teams are really up for a battle that looks equally open regardless of what has happened previously. But I believe strongly that looking at how far both of them have come, and looking at the fact that Wonder Kid will want to win this, and also looking at it from a point of view that, Habib also want to surprise him for the second time in 2 consecutive major competitions. It tells you that indeed we are out for a very nerve-wracking battle between both parties. But at the end of the day, who knows, tactics will have a role to play. And so far, I could say that statistically, about 90% of the matches have been won by gamers who use Juventus. Yes, that's the statistics so far. About 90% of them have been successful using Juventus. So at a point, the team you are using to play against your opponent counts a lot. And as far as most of them are really faring well with Juventus, it depends on which the teams the gamers are going to use at the end of the day. But we are in for a very mouth-watering performance.
Well, it's going to be very tough. I would be very honest today. Even in the competition, the previous weeks that has not been the grand finale, we can see that cohesion, we can see that fire, we can see that force in the game. But still talking about Wonder Kid and Habibou Souleye, he sent his missive to Habibou Souleye, telling him that today he's ready to blight any thorn in his path. Let's take a listen to Wonder Kid's missive to Habibou Souleye.
But Souleye, any message from you?
My message is going to Wonder Kid.
Oh, to Wonder Kid?
Yeah, because he's the, I think, most highly rated gamer in Ghana. So I need to focus on him than anyone.
He sent message. He sent message to me.
All right, so
we shall saw eventually. You don't know what is going on.
All right, so within the Champions League when you played against Souleye, you were heartbroken.
Yeah. So he sent a message to me earlier on, and I want to send a message back to him. Okay. So I'm going full out this time around, and this time I want to meet him, and I don't want to meet him in the final because I want to give him a heartbreak just as he did mine. So maybe in the semi-final, so he won't get to be in the final this time around.
Well, that's a message to you.
It's the Golden Hour, live on Kwesa TV.
Well, so you saw that statement from these gamers. Wonder Kid is saying you don't know what is going on today for Habibou Souleye. Some more.
Stop there. They got me laughing for some minutes. But it's good. It's good for the game. There's a game.
Yes.
It's a game. It's something about bragging. You need to brag. And you need to walk the talk. When you talk, you should walk the talk. You should make sure that you are good at it. And I just love that bit of it. And coincidentally, both parties are meeting today. So great game that I'm expecting today. It should be that game that nobody will fear, his fellow gamer. Nobody will fear to burst up. Nobody will fear, to defend as well. They should go all out and then express to the world that indeed they are the two best gamers in the country.
Well, we have several awards today, and that also goes to the best top goal scorer. Who do you think is going to take it? We have Wonder Kid on top with 7, and the rest follow up with 5. You can see the table on the screen is 7, 5, 4, 3, and 1. Who do you think is going to emanate as the best goal scorer, the top goal scorer for this tournament?
Well, for this, I can stick my neck out and say Wonder Kid is winning it. Let me explain my stand. I think that with 7, it means Habibou Souleye would have to score 3 unanswered goals to leapfrog him. And of course, Starson also has 4 goals. He would need to score Aspect by 3 goals to 0, which I don't see happening. I don't see, even if he will beat Aspect, I think the Aspect will respond in a way. So I think that from where Wonder Kid lies on the log, I think he's static. He's stagnant there. He's winning, he's making it.
Also, answer your bet, and then we get into the studio.
But I think Ziga has said it all. It's quite impossible or difficult, very difficult for the other gamers to catch up with Wonder Kid. And you don't expect Souleye, even if he's able to beat Wonder Kid, you don't expect him to beat him without a response, a reply. And looking at Starson too, I don't see him beat Aspect by 3 goals without a response. So looking at these dynamics, I think it's already a done deal in terms of the goal can charge for Wonder Kid. But the main focus is on who wins the ultimate, in which we are about to experience anytime soon.
Well, so we'll always give our comments and our predictions ahead of the game, but these players would have to prove us wrong or will have to prove us right. The first game of the La Grande Finale is already set. It's Messi up against Starson, up against Kiki. Messi is using PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, and Kiki is up with the old ladies of Juventus. Let's see who grabs the first win for today.
Also, Allianz Stadium is ready for Juventus versus Paris Saint-Germain. Kiki using Juventus, whereas Messi is using Paris Saint-Germain. And we're just getting ready. for just a battle of who tops the other. And this is just something that wouldn't even affect anything on the table.
Of course, in a nutshell, we can call it a dead rubber, but it's about the bragging rights. Kiki has made a statement really clear. His intentions are clear. He wants to be at the second spot at the end of the competition. So maybe that could be for grabs. But for Messi, well, it's all about the reputation, like keeping it cool and making sure that he doesn't finish the log beneath the table.
So there goes the commencements of the first half of the game between Kiki and, of course, Messi. And we are just looking at the dynamics involved in this very one. Cuadrado here, send the ball back to Dybala, tries a through ball for Ronaldo. And the goalkeeper will be forced into a wonderful save, and the ball gets to the left-hand side. And Draxler takes charge of that, dispossessed there by Dybala. And here to bless Matuidi, looking for option down the left-hand side for Douglas Costa, looking for Ronaldo. And again, the ball, it looks like in the early minutes of play, the pressure keeps piling on Messi.
Yeah, Messi is yet to get out of the pressure. He's really absorbing and living dangerously in this one. I think that he should be wary of the threat Kiki poses, especially playing with Juventus. They will attack more, they will come at you more, but always trust PSG to always come and build up slowly into the game.
Well, I would rather want to reckon Messi's style as a very strategic one. You know, he's below Kiki with just a point, and then he would want to make sure that Kiki doesn't get past, but Kiki also wants to prove that he's above him. He wants to get that fast 3 points, and then it might not go well for him. Supposing he gets a perfect counter, that means that Messi gets his 3 points that he's been talking about.
Matuidi, just looking for some brilliance. The ball will be cleared, and down the right-hand side, the ball goes for Mbappe, and dispossesses again back here, Lene. And already Juventus are the masters of the Serie A, and obviously it will take many years for other teams to overturn their glory. And here the ball goes now for Cavani, looking for option. It looks like the referee has blown his whistle for an infringement just within the center circle for Paris Saint-Germain. Shall be taken. Edison Cavani, looking for support from Draxler down the left-hand side. Gets him, moves away from 1, 2, 3. Draxler, another cross. And that was not to anyone in particular. Juventus will try to mop up brilliantly. One touch, another touch, tries a cross, and the goalkeeper will be forced into another save here. That was just a brilliant one.
I mean, the very only time Messi has been able to barge into Kiki's.
Oh yes,
amazing stuff.
It's in.
Amazing
and
stuff.
Messi was calm.
Just the only time he was able to barge into his opponent's half, he made it count with a goal. And I think brilliant stuff from Messi using PSG.
And Paris Saint-Germain.
I told you guys about it, that this is a very strategic start. I'm up again with my good guess, bro.
Another one. Oh,
that could have won the Puskas goal.
It looks more likely. But the ball has been flighted through. Series of heading. Simple control down the left-hand side there. And again, it looks more like Paris Saint-Germain will try to put their passes together. And none of this was doing anything good here for Juventus. Brilliant one here for Costa. Supported by Ronaldo. Brilliant by our standard. And just as we're saying, he has calmly and calculatedly taken his opportunities. A goal apiece.
Yes, when these things start happening, then your heart begins to pounce, you know. Your favorites are beginning to lose, but it's all part of it. That's what makes it the grand finale.
Looking more likely. Ronaldo. Looking again down the right-hand side for Paulo Dybala. And goalkeeper Buffon will have to come out to make a grab of that. Draxler. Oh, just looking for Neymar. And will he be able to pick him up? Yes, he does. Neymar Jr. And Bonucci will give him no chance and space. Ronaldo gets him on time. Ball will be sent down the right-hand side for Paulo Dybala. What is next? Tries across. And the ball will be cleared again. Draxler. Neymar. Ball dispossessed brilliantly. Ronaldo. Another hit. Far above expectation.
Brilliant strike there, brilliant style there from Kiki. You could tell clearly that his response has really boosted his morale again in this game. He went down, he's been back, and he really wants to go at it again. And Messi should be very careful with how he's defending against Kiki.
Paulo Dybala looking for Ronaldo on the run, and Buffon will have no option than to come out to grab that one with ease. Edison Cavani will be dispossessed. And finally, the whistle will go for the end of the first half. What is your thoughts so far, Worship?
Well, it's been an entertaining one. It's been attacking in the first half. Let's see what the second half will give to us. Definitely, we know who will win this one. That is personal, I mean.
Let's see what the remaining minutes of play will give birth to. Alexandro. Nacho Cuadrado. And here to Emre Can, supported by Douglas Costa, still pushing forward, looking for Cuadrado down the left-hand side, getting on time again, and the Colombian tries a cross, and the ball be headed up by Kimpembe, controlled again by Mbappe, looking for support from Neymar Jr. And Emre Can will make no mistake about that. Here's Blaise Matuidi, looking for support from Ronaldo, back again to Matuidi, tries a brilliant through ball, Cuadrado, oh! Was just not too close enough. The effort wasn't that worth it. And so far, so good. We are enjoying some wonderful peace. We're just looking forward to the moment where the brilliance will make the difference and separation here. Bless Matuidi here. Nacho Emre Can. Back again to Matuidi. Supported by Douglas Costa. Brilliant touch here to Ronaldo. Matuidi. Ronaldo again. Matuidi. Looking for Dybala. And Tammy, there'll be an interception there. And the ball will be driven down the left-hand side. He was just looking for Draxler, and Tammy will be stopped again. Inside here, the ball goes now for Cristiano Ronaldo to Cuadrado. Back again to Douglas Costa, supported again by Cuadrado. Looking for options, supported by Alexandro. Nacho Emre Can, not successful. And this is another chance. What is left for Matuidi? And the referee shows no interest in that. Flick back here for Cuadrado. Supported in here, tries a cross. And straight into the arms of Buffon, and the ball becomes another corner kick. Ball has been leveled in. Buffon punches it out. And brilliantly will be kept in play again by Matuidi. And Paris Saint-Germain will try to break off with this. Edison Cavani sends the ball back again for Dani Alves. And Cavani. It's just looking quite difficult for how things are really going. So far, so good. We have done almost 70 minutes of play and still a goal apiece.
I think the second half has not really been entertaining as compared to the first half. Well, I don't know, maybe because both sides are quite comfortable with the draw. They've scored very fantastic goals and they are a bit wary of barging forward and showing their competitors what they've got up their sleeve. But, well, you can't grudge them because, I mean, it's been a very torrid and a very tough moment. A draw or a point looks quite fair for any of them. Just that maybe Kiki might not get that his second spot that he targeted earlier.
Exactly. I think this is a defensive style they want to play here. You don't try to move out so you don't get pinned. And if you get the opportunity, you could. Oh, and how did he miss that particular opportunity? I mean, that was one of the greatest chances that we've had in the game.
You know, he actually wants to walk the ball into the back of the net. That's quite interesting. What's preventing him from shooting? Goodness me.
So that's what we call. It was easy to score than 2 minutes, but he decided to go for the latter. Kylian Mbappe getting closer, tries to drive the ball through. Bonucci with a header, cleared away by Costa. Brilliantly controlled by Matuidi. Down the left-hand side for Cuadrado, supported by Sandro.
Also, we're 85 minutes into the first game of the grand finale. It's Kiki up against Messi, all with 1 goal each. Kiki is with Juventus and Messi is with Paris Saint-Germain. We'll still be taking your predictions on our WhatsApp platform 0277830193. Tell us who you think is going to win this particular tournament.
So looking at the effect so far and a possible outcome of how events are going. Yes, Mbappe though. Oh, not too brilliant on that person, Chiellini. Oh, it's an infringement in a very good and promising position. But if Messi is able to capitalize on this...
Maybe we could see a Riyad Mahrez.
Yes. The story might take a twist here, but let's see how things will be going. Ball has been driven in and straight into the waiting arms of Chesney. And so the whistle will go for the end of what has been an entertaining game from the start. However, at a point, it became a bit judgy on looking at the tactics or the tactical approach by both gamers. At the end of the day, it ended 1-0 And once protection couldn't come to pass,
Yeah.
the pecking order will still be maintained.
You know, both gamers flattered to deceive. I mean, they made us feel.
Exactly
they
the
got us.
statement I wanted to use.
They got us thinking that they're going to be raining goals today. And well, me for instance, I thought that second half would produce more goals than the first half did, but they all came in with a kind of mentality. You were just sweeping the ball across the channels, just like that. And when you do that more often, you don't get the goals. You just have to go direct, other than going through the wings and all that, because you give your opponent a chance to also absorb the pressure, be able to reorganize themselves really well. And that's what they brought, the two of the gamers brought to the table in the second half. And it didn't help issues at all. It didn't help matters. A barren second half, which I think the fans out there are not really happy about it.
Well, it's not always about the happiness. In as much as we want a perfect outcome, we want that goals coming in. We also anticipated a tough competition, and that is what we are getting today. This is the grand finale, and of course, you don't expect the first game to be a 4-0, and then, come on, it's going to be tougher. And then, don't forget to send your comments to us. I'm getting in some comments already there. WhatsApp number is 0277-830-193, 0277-830-193. Who do you think, once again, is going to win this tournament? The next game is Starson up against Aspect.
A game I touted as that should be the most interesting game today, because I mean, Aspect wouldn't want to die like that. You wouldn't want to die in shame. You wouldn't want to die without a win. So, of course, he's going to give St. Starson a very good fight, a good run for his money. But on the flip side,
a wounded lion is still a lion.
Exactly. But on the flip side, I think that St. Starson will also be targeting that first spot, depending on what could transpire in the next game. Between Habibu Sule and Wonder Kid. So he wants to keep it safe, try and then bang in a few more goals, and then just enjoy the top spot for some time and see what happens. Maybe he would delve into a prayer mood when Habibu Sule and then Wonder Kid finally get into the final. But this should be a very tough and feisty tie. Like I said, very interesting. I'm expecting both gamers to open up, express themselves with a pad, let viewers enjoy them. I've mentioned a couple of times here that St. Starson has really been the revelation in this competition. He's lived through the moments, both the ugly, bad, and good moments. And of course, he's that gamer who has learned his lessons. He's learned throughout the competitions he's played. And this was one that it was there for the taking. But unfortunately, he's lagging behind. Maybe his chances are quite slim, but a win here could boost his chances. But for Aspect, it's about redemption. Redeem yourself. And that's what I think he would be planning to do today. Get some 3 points and then sit and relax.
Exactly. Also, I was about talking about the slim chances that Starson has. This is a game that decides who wins this tournament and who still stays beneath. Yeah. And Starson has the opportunity to get on top of that table to clinch the much coveted prize. It will be a bit disheartening to see Wonder Kid lose after, striving and bracing himself for a thorough win throughout this competition. But if he has to win, it means he has to get 4 goals. Yeah. Because he has 4 already. He needs to get 4 to be able to get on top. Because if you get 10 points, still 7 goals, Wonder Kid will still win even if he gets a draw. Yeah. You see, so he has to. How do you think his cards are going to play for him?
Well, I think this game, though, Aspect, even if he wins this one, he's not going to get anything. Yeah. And once he has registered his name to participate in this tournament, he doesn't see himself going out there as a loser.
Yeah.
And he doesn't see himself as someone who will be leaving this competition without a point. Secondly, you take a look at what happened to Starson at the GGC Soccer Champions League, and you ask yourself, why can't he push up a bit? Because it was the same Sule who surprised everyone here by before 1 or so. Yeah. So this time around, I think he has learned a lot out of that very, hallucinating experience. And so this time around, he's coming all out against him. However, even if he's able to win today, he moves straight into the top of the table. And depending on the number of goals that he will score against, Aspect. So it's just few dynamics, and let's see how things will be shaping up.
Well, so the second game is already in. It's up against Starson and Aspect. Let's have a good day.
So Starson playing against Aspect. And it looks more likely that Starson will be using Juventus. Stassen will be using Juventus. And the man who is at the moment carrying the remaining 5 gamers, Aspect, will be trying his luck with Paris Saint-Germain. What should we expect in this game, Siki?
I mean, same Juventus versus Paris Saint-Germain. Both teams love to possess the ball. Both teams love to just work their way into the box. And what we saw in the first game was quite interesting. That all of them were trying to walk the ball into the back of the net. But I think that maybe in the first, 3 minutes of this game has really shown that both gamers will try to shoot at goal. They'll try to punch in a few screamers to ensure that maybe they get the goals from yards away. They wouldn't want to walk their way into the game, walk their way into the back of the net, just as the previous players did. So this should be very feisty and interesting.
Well, we're seeing early good start from Aspect. He's with Paris Saint-Germain, and Stassen, of course, is with his old ladies of Juventus.
Stassen seems to be getting good results anytime he uses Juventus in a game. And just to see what really comes up along the line. Ball has been lifted here down the right-hand side for Cancelo. Just looking for supporting here. Finds Paulo Dybala. And here to Ronaldo. Oh, brilliant play from the Portuguese. Matuidi with a touch. Back again from Cuadrado to Alexandro. Cristiano Ronaldo again. This process brilliantly. Back in here for Mbappe. Supported by Draxler. Tries to lift the ball above everyone in the direction of Neymar Jr. But Bonucci will make no mistake about that. And Juventus will try to put their straps together again just to see whether they'll be able to get results here. Ball has been sent down the left-hand side for Cristiano Ronaldo. His preferred position in the course of any game. It's a corner kick, Juventus. And if his care is taken, they'll be able to fetch something out of this.
Also, we're live on our YouTube channels at GGC. At GGC channel on YouTube, we're live. The game is still live. You can join us anywhere you are. You just have to switch your data on and get live with us and enjoy the game. This is the grand finale of the Golden Hour e-soccer tournament on Questa TV. Don't forget that your comments are also welcome via our WhatsApp platform. Is 0277830 193 0277830 I'll be reading all your comments for you. Once again, you can join us on YouTube at GGC channel. It's a game between Aspect and Stassen. Aspect, once again, is with Paris Saint-Germain, and Stassen is with Juventus.
Cristiano Ronaldo here. This process brilliantly. Draxler. Atmazo there again by Matuidi. A brilliant ball. Oh, what a miss!
How did he miss that? Well, I think it was a technique. He had to open himself really wide and then just punch the ball into the back of the net. But I think that he went in with the fourth process at the outside of the boot. And normally you don't really get a target when you hit the outside of the boot like that. And well, I think it's as a result of poor technique by Aspect, missing the pool by inches. Very, very unpardonable mistake.
To me, regardless of the flagging of that opportunity as an offside, I think it's a scare to Stassen.
Yes, a scare to Stassen indeed by looking at how straps will be put together. Ball has been lifted there on the left-hand side for Neymar Jr. Tries to drive one through. And Douglas Costa, make no mistake about that. Costa here again.
And amazingly, today we are getting a lot of comments from females for Aspect. This one is from Francisca. It says, this one is from Francisca. He says Aspect is going to win. We have another one saying Stassen is going to win by a goal. This one is from BB. He says Wonder Kid is winning his match against Sule. No doubt from that. Kindly add your name when you send the comments. Says Wonder Kid needs only a draw to clinch the ultimate. I don't see Sule causing any surprise. We'll still be reading your comments. The game is still ongoing between Aspect and Stassen.
This is another chance, and the goalkeeper, Chesney, will make no mistake about that. Douglas Costa with a simple touch here to Samuel Khedira, supported by Ronaldo, looking for option. Still Cristiano Ronaldo, always a Ronaldo, will forever remain Ronaldo. Matuidi left the ball for Ronaldo, calmly controls that. Not successful at the second attempt, and that was just a brilliant lobbing of a ball.
Very, very brilliant, and that's a clear template of an end-to-end stuff from both sides. The game has really led up to the billing. Now, we've all expected both sides to come in very tight, come in very open, and do what is due them when it comes to the moment they have to do that. You've seen it. Paris Saint-Germain and Juventus, these are teams that love to attack very well. They've got very decent defense as well. And it's not quite easy to score against them, and that's what we've just experienced here. 0-0 in the first half is a perfect reflection of this game.
This is what we call determination versus encouragement. If you are determined to win the ultimate, you come all out. But if you're encouraged that you can't live here without a single point, another chance. Yeah, ball has been leveled.
But I'm impressed by Aspet's style of play today. He truly came into there for a 3, and that's a chance. Will he be able to? Oh, and unfortunately, the defense banks it out of the 18-yard box.
A very clear chance for Aspect to just punish Starson for, but I think he fluffed his lines on this one.
And Starson seems to be under pressure. How do we see him experience this? And as it stands now, getting closer. And so if Starson is unsuccessful today, that will mean that it has become too clear and obvious for Wonderkid to emerge as a champion. But the breakaway here in the meantime, what was he thinking about?
What was he doing? What was he doing?
We would have to use the word for that. We are gobsmacked.
Gobsmacked. And I'm really hallucinated by that horrible experience. But it's part of life. Let's enjoy the bit of it. One touch again here. Verratti. Cavani. Again finds Di Maria. And the ball will have to be cleared on time. Bless Matuidi here. Finds Ronaldo. Another touch. Controls brilliantly. Supported by Dybala. Looking for option. Paulo Dybala again. Down the left-hand side, the ball go for Matuidi, looking for Ronaldo, and Verratti will have no option than to clear the ball. Center circle events, and already we are just getting closer to another moment of brilliance. One touch, finds Cavani, down the right-hand side for Di Maria. Tries to drive one through, not successful. Matuidi with a touch, again back to Matuidi. Send the ball down the left.
Will this be the opportunity?
It's not possible. But so far, so good. Talk about Matuidi. He's playing against his former club. And you expect him to feel a bit, mixed. You should experience a bit of mixed feeling here.
Of course, he doesn't look it at all. He doesn't look like he's playing against his former side. He's really shown that firepower, that drive. I mean, he's always enthusiastic about his game, and that's what he's really shown this afternoon. I mean, both sides have really been entertaining, and the goalkeepers have really been up to the billing anytime they've been called upon. Buffon, brilliant, and Wojciech Szczesny, I mean, they've been very brilliant on the DN. I mean, I must give credit to them for how far the game has gone. A barren one, and I'm not surprised, I'm not shocked.
Ball has been leveled in, headed out by Verratti, kept in play brilliantly by Mbappe. Another one! Oh, what a save by...
Brilliant piece of goalkeeping there. Brilliant.
Buffon,
Absolutely
not
brilliant.
leaving anything to chance at all, but still we're enjoying good game here. Marco Verratti here. Down the right-hand side for Di Maria. Angelito, they call him. Going for the ball, go for Draxler. Down the left-hand side, supported by Neymar. Aspect. What Aspect was he thinking about, young man?
Well, that was a very nice try there. The intricate passing and the build-up to that particular chance. Perfect. And I must say, I'm actually enjoying the game without a goal. I love the way the passes are being
I would want to
squeezed in and out.
From this tangent. I mean, this is a great build-up, succinct style, but why would you delay? The delay was too much for me.
Yes.
Honestly, you are not here to just display your dexterity.
Sure.
You are also here to win. You need to grab that 3 points. That would be your utmost consolation piece, and then you just blow it up.
Ball has been leveled in, and to no one in particular. It looks like today Aspect has been more dominant than
very dominant. And at some points I've been asking myself, where has he been? I mean, where has all these performances been? What we've seen.
He said, I think Aspect's best performance happened in losing should
but to get Ejira back again to